We're back, baby. And this is episode 25. And I learned a valuable lesson before we get into this episode. Last week, I put out a bolo, a be on the lookout for someone from Arkansas. I spun the wheel, the virtual wheel of all of the states that we haven't had guests from. And I put that on social media. And you guys answered the call. I will say that you answered the call, not just from Arkansas. It's almost like that part didn't even exist. It's like checking in from New Jersey, checking in from Ohio. So everyone that I replied to on social media and via email, your time is coming. I promise. I got to figure out a scheduling system or something like that because I wasn't expecting the outreach. But we will get you on. In the meantime, if you didn't see that and you have no idea what I'm talking about, you want to be on an episode, shoot me an email here if you're watching. If you're just listening, it's sttf.weareeverywhere@gmail.com. Without further ado, straight from Arkansas. He answered the call. He was the first one because there were a few of you, and we'll get you on, I promise. Mr. Philip Skinner. What's happening, man?
Hello. Hey, Gregg. How are you?
I'm doing good. We had a few audio bugs to hammer out before we got this going, but we're here. And look at us. We look like brothers, man. Just a couple.
We do look a lot alike. I was thinking the same thing. We could totally be related.
Just a couple of bald-headed dudes about to talk about Phish.
Dudes, short beards. I normally have a bigger beard a little bit, but I trimmed it up.
And you know what? If I wouldn't have, I got lucky enough to fall into a LASIK endorsement a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But if I didn't, I would have the glasses just like you and we'd be twins. Yeah. So we know you're from Arkansas.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Originally from Arkansas. What's your story?
I've been in Arkansas for the last 3 years, but originally from Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
Born in northern Alabama, lived in Birmingham for about 20 years. Met my girlfriend there, and we fell in love. And so she moved back to Arkansas, where she was originally from. And I decided to follow her.
And you made the trip with her.
Right. The forgotten state to Arkansas. No one ever thinks about Arkansas, but here we are.
Yeah. So I kind of get it because I'm originally from Oklahoma.
Right.
And it's like one of those just flyover states. But
middle of nowhere.
The eastern part of Oklahoma and into like Arkansas, like where we meet, there's some beautiful stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I'm in Northwest Arkansas. Have you ever been to Northwest Arkansas?
Don't know. Where's Ozark, Arkansas?
Yeah, it's kind of northwest. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I've been there.
Bentonville, Fayetteville, where the University of Arkansas is.
Cool.
That's kind of where I am. Bentonville, is like Walmart headquarters.
Yeah, where the amphitheater is
Exactly.
And speaking of, there's so many tie-ins with Arkansas here. Speaking of, I have to correct myself because the last episode we were talking about Phish opening their tour. And for whatever reason, I'm seeing it on paper. Last tour, summer tour.
Right, 21.
They opened in Arkansas.
They did.
I was getting that confused with this summer tour with them opening in Alabama because AR, AL, whatever, it's all the same thing. I'm dyslexic or something. And I was talking about like how they opened the tour this year in Arkansas and stuff. And just one of my buddies was like, dude, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't know, man. But yeah, so you're right around that area.
I think that Phish is following me around. I moved here, and then all of a sudden, Phish decided to come play Arkansas.
You're like, yes. And I can't really remember that show. Was it a good opener, or was it kind of standard? Or
no, it was decent. Yeah, it was pretty standard. It wasn't anything spectacular, but it was solid. The energy was there.
Yeah, just a fun.
After COVID, everybody's ready to party and see Phish again. So
right on.
It was a good time.
Last thing about Arkansas before we get into Phish.
Yeah.
Whenever I was 19, me and a couple of my buddies found this place in Texas, so just a short drive from Oklahoma, that was pumping out fake IDs.
Yeah.
And everyone was getting their fake ID from Texas, for whatever reason, so close. And I threw a curveball, and I was like, I'm going to get mine from Arkansas. And so you fill out the paper. You can pick whatever state you want. You write where you want to be from, put all your information. And the only place I had been up until that time, the only thing that I knew about Arkansas was Ozark, Arkansas, because that's where Wakarusa or one of those festival places are that I've been to.
I think it was Wakarusa.
Yeah, it sounds right. And so I'm filling out my paper, and my handwriting still to this day, like I've got a little scratch it post-it note here. It's
Yeah.
chicken scratch. I fill out Ozark, Arkansas, but the O looked like an A.
Oh
So I
no.
pay $100 or whatever it is for this fake ID, and it says Azark, Arkansas. And I was
There's
like,
probably no such place, right? There's no such place.
But I'll say the track record with that working was about 80%. So I don't
Nice.
think people were looking to see where I was from. I think they were looking to see how old I was. So
You
it
got
worked
your
out.
money's worth.
I still got it somewhere in a box, but
Nice.
it's pretty funny. Okay, enough about Arkansas. Let's get into Phish. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, how long have you been into Phish? When did you discover Phish? What was the first thing you heard? How did you find the band?
Sure. So I think it was probably back in 02, 03.
Okay.
I want to say 02. I think Phish was still on their break. And I had a friend, we were hanging out. He had the Bittersweet Motel DVD.
Classic.
And that was on repeat. I watched that constantly. Loved it. Fell in love. Prior to that, I was listening to whatever was on the radio. I was listening to a lot of 311, Incubus.
Sure, yeah.
Beastie Boys, whatever was
Love
cool in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I just fell in love with Phish, And I think he also had the Live in Vegas DVD,
That's a good one too.
And there's a Mike song on there where they get to this build and Fishman just slams it home.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was the most badass music I'd ever heard up until that point, so.
Yeah. And is that what, up until that time, and how old are you at this point? Whenever
41.
41. Okay. So you discovered them late in life.
I did. Yeah. I was like 23-ish.
So all through the 90s and all that, nothing hit your radar. Okay.
No. Yeah. I think I'd maybe have heard of them. Someone in high school mentioned them, but I never checked it out.
Gotcha. Yeah. Never came across.
Yes, I was late. I kind of grew up in the South, so I grew up in church, and I was pretty, I didn't know much about the Phish world, so to say, But, once I finally moved out of my folks' house and, got out on my own, it was a whole other ballgame.
A whole new world, man.
A whole new world.
Yeah, exactly. Aladdin. So starts with Bittersweet Motel and the Live in Vegas DVD.
I want to say it was Birds of a Feather that hooked me. I remember that song pretty vividly, thinking back on it.
And you're
just loving Birds of a Feather, and that Mike song from Vegas,
Yeah. And so with the DVDs, did you have like a friend that was like, hey, check this out? Or did you just, it was like $1 in the bin at Hastings, or, how'd you come across it?
Yeah, no, I had a couple of friends we were hanging out with, my friend Noah and my little brother David. We all hung out, and they were really into Phish. I think they went to when was the first Bonnaroo? Was that 02 or 03?
Dude, you're asking the wrong person.
I don't know.
It
was all around that time. It's almost been 20 years, so my memory's a little hazy.
Same.
Through the years, memories get a little lost, but
yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
But hey, better late than never to the party. So how long after 02, whenever you are discovering these DVDs, how long until you see your first show? Did you catch any in 2.0 or did you wait till 3.0?
I did. I'm a 2.0 guy. So 03, nice. July 26, 03, Atlanta.
July 26, 03. Okay.
It was a hell of a show. Wilson opener. That
love
set list is pretty awesome, man. I got a Wilson, I got a Tweezer, I got a Yem.
Nice.
I got a Piper. That Piper was fucking awesome. That was Kuroda's birthday too, It was right before It. So in the Yem, they did the Boy, Man, God, and he said It instead of shit.
Oh, clever.
So it was a pretty sweet show. It was really sweet.
Did you make it to It?
I didn't make it to It. So I went to Atlanta, and then I went to the next night in Raleigh. Cool. And then I went to the New Year's in Miami, 03. I went to all 4 of those.
Very cool.
And those were incredible. Those are some of my favorite shows still to this day.
Yeah, I bet. And those first, the first show was always special, but that Definitely. If you hit like a run, afterwards, they're all kind of, lumped in, and you still got that attendance like bias. You're like, this is the best thing ever.
It was.
And I got to, thing ever. Yeah, and it still is to this day.
Most definitely. I love Phish, man. I listen to Phish every single day.
Yeah, same. And I'm so glad, I feel like a broken record. I'm so glad that they're still playing,
Oh, me too, man.
as all of
Totally.
our ages increase,
Right.
like I want to see Trey, I want to see all of them up there whenever they're Bobby's age,
Yeah.
just like
We'll see some
old and
Trey
gray.
workout videos.
Yeah, pulling on the XRT bands or whatever they're called.
All right.
God bless them.
And they're killing it, man. I mean, to this day, the Summer 21 tour up until now, some of the best stuff I've
Yeah,
heard in a long time. I
yeah.
mean, they've always been killing it, but this has been extra special, it feels like.
It really does. It really does feel like a new era. And I haven't last tour. I listened to every show like right after, and I was like
Same.
really, because I was like, dude, they're
Same.
on it right now.
Yeah.
And this summer tour, I've kind of on Live Fish kind of scrolled through the set list and
Right.
kind of a cherry picked to see,
Right.
what I wanted to hear. But from what I've seen and the small pieces that I've heard, still playing really good. I mean,
Incredible. Yeah.
the four best musicians in the world.
In the world.
So it's kind of hard to not. So we've heard how you've got into Phish. A
Hmm.
little late, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We've heard about your first show, and fast forward to now after, experiencing, 2.0. I'm certain that you've dove back into 1.0 and listened
Definitely.
to all that you have
Oh,
to.
yeah. All
And
of
then
it.
even with 3.0, do you have a favorite year? Like whenever you're going back to listen, do you find yourself going back to, the 95, or do you find yourself going back even further? Do you find yourself sticking in the new
Yeah.
era? What's your go-to?
I've definitely had periods where I've had favorites of each. 94 was a favorite for a long time. Just that super
Smoking.
high energy,
Yeah.
just raw ripping guitar.
Yeah.
97, of course, was a favorite for a really long time with the funk.
Uh-huh.
And 98. And I haven't really dug into 99 much, but I mean, what I have heard, of course, is incredible. But
Yeah.
I still tend to like go towards 2.0. I love all the O3 stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
raw, dirty. I like a little bit darker, dirtier Phish.
We share that as well.
Yeah.
It's and that's kind of what I was touching base on last episode. You can sing. I'm talking to Trey here. You can sing about love and light and soul
Yeah.
planets and all you want. Just whenever we break to type 2, like
Yeah.
let's look under the rug. Let's see what's
Yeah.
growing
I
under there,
love when
man. Like,
he's just like exercising demons, or
yeah,
or calling demons, whatever he's doing. I don't
yeah.
know. That
Whatever.
growly tone he does. I
Yeah,
love it, man.
yeah. I love the dark jams as well. They're hard to beat, man.
They really are. So that Miami show, I don't know if have you listened to much of that New Year's Miami '03.
I have, and it's funny because my first shows were New Year's Miami '09.
Oh, nice.
So, but yeah, I have revisited the '03 Miami as well,
There's
and
the Susie Greenberg from that show, Miami '03, is probably one of the dirtiest, gnarliest
yeah,
jams.
and I'll
You
have
got
to
Yeah, check that
re-listen.
out.
Yeah, there's so many, and it can be it can be overwhelming because we all share this passion and
Yeah,
like looking for jams and like seeing what they're doing now. They're on tour, like I need to listen to what they're doing right now.
oh
But then
yeah,
there's like, or at least for me in my brain, I'm like, there's still, with the crazy amount of Phish that I've listened to, there's
yeah.
still so many things that I haven't heard
I know.
that I'm just,
There really is.
I feel the FOMO about it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I gotta listen to it all right
I
now.
know. I'm
Uh,
always looking for a new jam I haven't heard. There got to be out there,
oh
because we
yeah, no,
stick to
they
the
are.
ones we love, and then
Yeah, and wear them
I'm
out.
sure there are hundreds more that I haven't heard yet that I'm always looking for that one just to show my friends, like, you gotta check this out.
Yeah, look at this I found. Yeah.
Yeah, another gold.
Yeah. And shout out to us talking about this, reminded me of this. I saw recently, maybe it was last week, maybe it was the week before, but Kuroda posted on Instagram or somewhere that he was like, this is my 1790th
Saw that.
show. Did you see that?
Wild.
It as lighting
Uh,
direct, like, dude, he's seen everything.
I can't even imagine.
Talk about the best job ever. Like,
Wow. And he just kind of stumbled into it. I was listening to a podcast. You probably listen to a lot of the other Fish podcasts,
yeah. Tenants Bias. I listened to
or Long
Help
May They Run,
Long May there.
or
Yep.
Alive Again, Undermine, all those.
There's so many. Yeah.
So many. But he was
Yeah.
talking about how I think he was just taking guitar lessons from Trey in
I think you're
college.
right. Yeah.
And he was like carrying their equipment into shows, and Trey's like, "Hey, we need someone to run the lights." He's like, "Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how to do this." And Trey's like, "Well, we'll figure it out together."
Oh, dude.
Can you
I'm
imagine?
still waiting to stumble onto something
Me
like that.
too. Oh my God. I'll carry Trey's guitar. I'll carry anything. I'll carry his water. Well, I'll get you
Yeah.
some coffee.
Yeah. What do you need, man? What you need help with you need me to babysit your cats? What's going
Whatever
on?
you need. Whatever you need. I'm here. I'm here, Trey.
Yeah. Same. We're both here. You can hire us together. We'll be a bald
Hit us
duo.
up. Should we give him our
um
phone number? We'll give him our phone number.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, let's put it out. So favorite years of Phish.
Yeah, I mean,
Favorite
I'd have to say my very favorite. I mean, probably 97, but then, 95, I've been listening to a lot of lately.
Yeah.
95 is incredible.
And all of those, I mean, it's almost an impossible question.
It
But
really
I kind of
is.
just like to see where people are at, because even like
And
with myself, it varies with mood.
definitely.
It's like, okay, what do I want to hear today? Like,
Exactly. Exactly. I listen to a lot of like Summer 21 and even Fall 21. I went to the Vegas Halloween shows, and
how
I
was
listened to those
that?
constantly. They were incredible.
Yeah.
Those are probably currently some of the best shows I've seen,
Yeah. It's amazing.
Incredible. Just incredible.
And so to this date, how many shows have you seen?
61.
61?
61 since 03. Yeah.
I'm 10 behind you. I'm at
Yeah.
51.
Nice. Nice, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
When was your first show? Oh, you said Miami 09.
Miami 09. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I was like 19 years old. And we drove from Oklahoma to Florida, and there were 4 of us, so we're alternating,
Yeah.
And then we get there, and one of the 4 was like, hey, you guys are on your own on the way back. I bought a plane ticket. We were like, damn, dude.
That's cold.
I know.
What?
And after he said that, then I got on my phone and I was like on Expedia. I was like,
yeah.
Plane
tickets, please.
This is gonna suck.
How long was that drive? That was probably like,
on Google Maps without stops, like 24 hours.
Wow.
And so obviously we're making stops, and you got 4, hippies, stopping to pee or do whatever. It took us. It was a trip, man.
That's how it was. We living in Birmingham. I went to Coventry too in 04.
Oh, wow.
And that was like a 24-hour straight drive. So we went to Coventry. Just side tangent. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go for it.
We went to Coventry, and it was quick. We stopped somewhere where we thought we could camp. It said camping, and like half a mile to wherever. I was one of those people that ended up walking probably 6-7 miles.
Looking for camp.
Yeah, and I mean, we parked thinking we had somewhere to camp. We walked towards the stage thinking it would be close. Wound up being miles away, so we didn't have anything, because we're going to go into the show, and so we didn't have any of our stuff with us. And went to the show, caught rides back to the car, slept in the car, went to the next show the next day, and as soon as the last show was over, we got in the car immediately and drove back 24 hours home. We didn't even sleep after the show that night. We got in the car and drove straight home.
Just crazy. Covered in mud and shit and depression.
Oh, it was a shit show. It was so sad, man. It was so sad.
It's sad, man. I've watched, those clips that exist like on YouTube, and you can just
that glide and
they should flag that video. They should just take that down.
He should pay. He should pay for that to be taken off the internet somehow. I don't know.
Got enough money at this point. Like, hey, can we?
You're right.
Let's scrub this.
But yeah, I remember sitting in the crowd listening to that, and everyone was just, we were just crying, and like it was just, and everyone was hugging, and just, it's like, is this really it?
This is done, man. And then Paige tearing up and Velvet Sea.
When Paige cries, it's so sad.
Yeah, you're like,
so heartfelt and just pure Paige.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you haven't, I almost don't even want to encourage this.
I know, should we?
If you ever just want to feel sad, watch some stuff from Coventry. But it's still, on the flip side, silver lining, you got to experience something with a lot of other people that you shared a love and passion for.
Yeah.
And you thought, you were saying goodbye for the final time. So you all got to do that together, no matter how horrible
it was. Wild.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad it didn't end though. I'm so glad
Yeah.
it didn't end.
Yeah. Yeah. Favorite jam or jams of all
Okay.
time?
So there's a couple I constantly go back to.
Okay.
Um, the Riverport Gin from '98,
Absolutely.
incredible.
Yeah.
Of course, in like the Island Tour Roses jam,
Yeah.
it's pretty sick.
Yeah.
There's actually a Boogie on Reggae Woman jam from Alpine Valley '04. I don't know if you've heard that, and it's just super high energy.
I'm
Always
trying.
gets me amped. Check it out if you haven't.
Okay, I'm trying to remember because the same buddy that called me out about the Alabama Arkansas mix up,
Yeah.
he's the one that's always listening and is like, dude, your memory's so bad. But he has a favorite Boogie on Reggae Woman, and I'm
Oh
trying
yeah.
to remember what the date is on it. Um,
Was it from one of your first shows or your first podcast shows?
yeah,
I feel like I remember that one. I think he said it was like 2012, if I'm not mistaken. I could be
you're
wrong.
right. It was 3.0. You're right.
Yeah.
See, I just need to rehear things to remember. I just need to rehear, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
no,
that
you are right.
'04 Alpine Valley, pretty hot.
Okay.
I mean, my favorite show probably of all time is that 11/17/97.
Yeah.
It's incredible. All those jams. I mean, that Ghost and Tweezer, that Yem is phenomenal. I go to
It,
those all the time.
it's that's I've worn that show out so much.
Me too.
I've went through multiple running phases in my life where I
Yeah.
get super into running and I'm like, it's all I
Oh
want to
yeah.
do. And putting on from that Denver Ghost and then the Denver Disease
Ooh.
from that same show. Dude, in that Ghost, you hit the 11 like 20 minute mark
Yeah.
and you're like I'm at that point you're like a mile and a half in, like right when you start to like start feeling fatigued and that
Yeah.
bliss part kicks in and
Oh
you're just
yeah.
like, let's
I
go,
can
let's
do
go. You get that
it.
runner's high and you're like, woo. Yeah, no,
Nice.
I love those shows, man. Those are all
Me
really good
too.
picks. The only one I wasn't familiar with was the Alpine Valley
And
04.
then one more I'll say that I just thought of. There's a '95 show that's on Live Fish, the Live Fish app now. Um, it's a free actually. There's a free
Mm,
from I think it's Saratoga,
okay.
and the jam kind of cruises along a little bit. It's kind of easy going for a while, and then it builds up, and it gets super intense. Another one of those fishermen just like hammering it home. Trey just
Yeah.
peaking.
Yeah.
I would check that out. I
I
think it's the
love it.
Saratoga from '95 free.
Saratoga 95 free. Got it.
I think I maybe even commented on that. You were talking somewhere about Yim vocal jams or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I commented on your Twitter, I think, about that show, that Yim.
With the where they go back into it after the vocal jam.
No, they don't go back into a jam, but it's like a funny vocal jam.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's from that same show.
Okay, gotcha. Because
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
talking with, I know what you're talking about. I was talking with Andy Michaels from Phish Radio,
Right.
and we were fascinated whenever Phish
Dude, that's
uh,
awesome that they're doing
went
that
back
now.
in, to, and
Yeah.
I was asked, I think what I was asking, like, has this ever happened before, or what's your favorite EM, or something like that.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
they
man.
just started doing. Did they just start doing that again back at that ninth? Was the ninth Cube show they did? Remember they did that.
Did they?
I think so. They did the vocal jam and then went back into a jam. It was pretty sick.
Gotcha. Okay,
But
yeah,
they've
because
done
I
that.
wasn't, I
I think they've
wasn't
done
sure
it
if
a
they'd
few
ever
more
done that.
times. I don't know if they
Okay.
have either. I don't know if they've done that in the past or if
Yeah.
it's a new thing.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah, I dig it too.
I think they should keep doing it. Much,
Absolutely.
much better that way. Because yeah, vocal jams these days are pretty kind of awkward and weird.
Well, I mean, they get. I've never been a fan of them
Yeah,
because it's just like it's over.
yeah,
It's not going anywhere unless they like go into like a Doobie Brothers or like Oh Blackwater, like doing something that you'd be like,
right.
oh, that's cool, that's
Yeah.
different. But it's just never really
I feel like
done it
maybe they
for me.
practiced them back in the maybe '90s, or maybe
Yeah,
they practiced it more, but now it's just kind of off
yeah.
the cuff and yeah, a lot of that.
Sounds like a bunch of cars trying to start at the same time.
Yeah.
um, what's a Fish song that you would, or not a Fish song? What is a song that you would like to see Fish cover?
Mm. Oh wow, I don't even know. That's a good question. I haven't really even thought about that. I like all the covers that they do now. I mean,
Right.
I was at an Atlanta show when they covered Rage Against the Machine that time. I think it was a July 4th show.
Oh, really?
That was pretty sick. Killing in the Name.
Yeah.
You know that song?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The crowd fucking lost it, man. That might be one of the wildest crowds when they went into that, because it just rages and it's like, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me.
Dude, yeah, no,
And everyone's just chanting it and just
I
like,
love Rage. It's and it's so funny. It's so cringy. Like, um, one of the years at Dick's, they played Sabotage,
oh
and
yeah,
I'm on
2011,
maybe
the
no
S
idea.
show, probably the S show.
Yes, it has to be.
Yeah,
And I was under the influence of whatever party favors,
sure.
and they go into that, and I was like, dude, they're playing Rage. And my buddy was like, dude, this is the Beastie Boys. And I was like, yeah, that's what I meant. Just like that
It
moment of like
happens.
cringe, I was like,
It
oh
happens.
no.
It's like the
But
Maze Bowie thing.
yeah, yeah. Called it. um, but yeah, no,
Sabotage
so,
might as well be a Rage song. Might
yeah,
as well.
yeah, might as well. Tomato, tomato.
I don't know. What do you want to see them cover?
I've thought about that. I my music taste is so eclectic. So if they didn't already have
Yeah,
like a handful of bluegrass tunes, I
yeah,
would pick something from like, like Doc Watson maybe, or, something
yeah.
like that.
It was into John Hartford.
Yeah.
Dude, John Hartford is like one of my top three musicians. It's like Phish, John Hartford, and
Yeah.
Frank Zappa probably. But
Oh, Zappy, yeah.
yeah,
Um, and speaking of John Hartford, Yonder Mountain String Band covered when Jeff was with them. I don't know if they
mm.
still do, but Holden, that's a John Hartford song,
I love
right?
that song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so cool. Yeah.
God, I love that song.
Um,
Yeah, that'd be a good song for Phish. I don't know. Yeah, John Hartford's lyrics were just incredible, and his style.
yeah, yeah. It's unique in its own right.
It is. I think he kind of broke in. He kind of was breaking away from traditional bluegrass and got
Hmm.
in. He's probably a hippie, smoking weed and
For sure.
having a good old time.
He wrote a song called Holden.
Exactly. Yeah. Duh.
um, but I don't know. I'd like to see him cover something like something a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like a metal song, but something, in
More.
the same light as like a Rage, or maybe like
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know.
I know. I'm drawing a blank too. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I asked all these questions and then you flip it on me and I'm like,
Yeah.
get a taste of my own medicine.
There you go.
But yeah, and with them having covered so many things,
Right.
it's
Yeah, they
hard to.
make good covers. They do
They
good
really
at.
do.
I mean, of course, they're professionals. So
Yeah, everything that, like, because what I was gonna ask you, I was gonna say, well, what do you listen to outside of Phish? Like, pick one of those. But then I'm trying to do the
yeah,
same thing, and
I
I'm like,
know.
Rolling Stones, Allman Brothers, done it, done it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the list. They've
I
done a really
know.
good job.
Allman Brothers fan too. Yeah, I love Allman
Yeah,
Brothers. Allman Brothers is kind of what got me into like just listening to rock and roll. My dad, I think Allman Brothers were his favorite band,
yeah,
probably in his vinyl collection that I discovered when I was younger, and
yeah,
kind of got me on that path, of
yeah.
listening to good
Especially
music.
like, growing up where you grew up, it's that
Yeah,
southern rock, and they were
exactly.
kind of stepping out into jamming whenever
Yeah,
southern rock kind of
probably
wasn't
some of the
doing
first
it.
concerts I saw too. Allman Brothers, but went with O'Till and Warren Haynes and all those guys.
Right?
They'd come
Yeah,
through Birmingham and play
yeah,
quite a bit.
yeah.
Incredible shows.
Um, Yeah, it'd be cool to see Phish do. I don't know. Hearing you say Birmingham for whatever reason made me think of Jimmy Buffett. I would.
I
I don't know if I could take them serious if they like went out there and played Cheeseburger in
was gonna
Paradise.
say Cheeseburger in Paradise. That'd be hilarious.
It would be. I think I would have fun with that.
It's kind of fishy, I guess.
It could be. Yeah, Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Don't. All right, Fish. Don't play
Yeah.
that. Don't listen to us.
So on the flip side, what would be a song that you would play for someone that's never heard of Phish, and you're like, hey, you got to check this band out? Because there's a lot of
Right.
different avenues you can go. You go studio, you go something
True.
soft, you go throw them
Yeah,
in
I
the
think.
deep end.
Yeah, I think you can't really go too psychedelic or crazy because that stuff can get kind of chaotic for people that aren't into Phish.
Right.
My girlfriend, for instance, hates Phish basically.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
and
tough.
it is tough. It is
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Because I still play it all the time, and
Yeah.
she kind of like rolls her eyes. And
Has she been to any shows with you?
she went to the Arkansas show, and then she went to the Birmingham show
Okay, cool.
after that. And the circumstances were a little bit weird, but I think she had a good time. She kind of got the vibe. She likes to have fun, and
Yeah.
so she understood it. But I'd like to. So the Birmingham shows were weird because that venue is just like once we went in late, and it's hard to get a seat because it's just so crowded
Oh,
and
sure.
chaotic. And so we're standing places, and the security guards are shooing you away, and it made her uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
you couldn't really settle into it,
Yeah, just constantly like, oh, he's gonna tell us to move now. Yeah. Yeah.
So if we could go to another show and like find a good seat and chill, she'd be
Just
cool with it.
hang
She
out.
really likes that song "Bliss" off of Billy Breeze. It's just like a simple,
Right.
instrumental
Yeah.
song, kind of
Yeah.
sleepy time song.
Yeah. That's
She
perfect.
loves
Sleepy
she
time
loves
song.
Bliss. It is. It's a good.
Yeah.
It's on our sleep playlist.
There you go.
But yeah, Billy Breeze stuff like that song "Talk" or "Train Song,"
Mm-hmm.
and songs like "Harry Hood" or "Slave to the Traffic Light." Things that are a little more just kind of happy and floaty.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good call. Yeah. A hood, slave, because even though whenever those venture out, it's still on a path where you can tell where it's
Right.
going eventually, and then you get the peak and everybody's having fun.
Yeah,
Those are some good intro songs for sure.
for sure.
Another guest that I had on earlier on has listened to every single Harry Hood that's ever been played. That's
amazing.
The recordings that are in
Really?
circulation. Yeah. I was
Holy
like,
cow!
wow. Yeah.
I mean, that's like that's going to be maybe hundreds.
Yeah, more than that. It's got to be. If I was going to guess, I would say. I'm not going to guess.
Phish has played thousands of shows, right?
Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so,
I would say it's in the thousands.
500 or
I'm sure he
600?
told me what the actual number is, but just
Probably.
like I can't remember anything. I can't remember that either.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those accounts where someone tries to listen to like every Ghost or every Tweezer or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a task. I mean,
well, he did it with the Hoods, man, and I was like, what a great song to do that to. And that's how he would start his day.
really?
Yeah, and I was like, that's perfect.
A good way to start your day.
Yeah, have a cup of coffee and start your day off on a positive note.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Man, a lot of times I'll listen to Phish and it's better than a cup of coffee. It just kind of gets you amped.
Yeah, depending on where your headspace is at.
Yeah.
Flip side, what is a Phish song that you would be okay with never hearing again?
Ooh. I mean, there's that. I mean, I could say like Backwards Down the Number Line. I don't really like Petrichor. They haven't played it much lately, but Petrichor doesn't do it for me.
Right.
I don't like Backwards Down the Number Line. It's fine. It's just for some reason that intro always just is so jarring coming out of like a sick jam or something.
Yeah. And to be fair, we've been ripcorded with it
so many times. We've been number lined a lot.
Kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth, It
really does. Or like Joy.
See, and that's how I felt with Joy. Do you know the story behind Joy?
Is it about his daughter or no?
It's about his sister.
Okay.
And she passed away.
Right.
And because I was the same, like anytime I would get a Joy played, I would be like, damn it, man.
Yeah.
And then after like hearing like the backstory behind it, I was like, oh fuck, man, let this man sing this song, Hero. He's in a special place right now, remembering
I don't mind these songs so much these days. Some of the live, laugh, love songs, like you say.
Yeah.
I love everything. Everything's right. I dig that song.
It's fun. It is fun.
And a lot of the Sigma Oasis songs too. What are some other ones? Like Leaves or.
They just jammed out of Leaves, I think.
I think they did. Was it Jones? Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah, it was either last night or the night before.
Yeah, Leaves has a pretty good jam. That's the thing about those songs is like they start kind of, like a poppy kind of song, but they always end up jamming pretty hard.
Which I'm here for. Yeah,
start
it however you want.
Totally.
Yeah.
I know, man. And I don't mind them. You get older in life and you go through things and you can relate a lot more.
Exactly.
And I find myself on the way to work a lot, just like shedding tears, you know. I was like feeling it.
Yeah. I remember the first time that Phish brought me to tears. I was driving down I-95 in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and I was listening to the 516 Lowell, however you say it,
Yeah.
516 95 Reba,
Right.
and for whatever reason, it was like one of those, I call them movie moments. The sun is
Oh yeah.
setting perfectly in the sky, the windows are down, it's
Oh,
cranked, and
I
I'm
know the feeling.
feeling good.
Oh yeah.
And it just hits this part of the jam, and it just like I got overcome with like emotion, and I
Yeah.
just like happy tears just like started
Yes.
coming down. And then whenever I got to my destination, I found a new jam that maybe no one's heard, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm like, yo, you guys got to listen to this. I say it in the group text. You guys got to listen to this. It's, I just teared up listening to
Oh
this, and
man.
I get back, yeah, heard it, overrated. Just like
Oh man.
shit on it. I was like, man, I had such a moment. But yeah, that
Seriously.
feeling, man, like cry,
It
it,
happens to me a lot these days. And
yeah.
I work as a welder.
Oh, nice.
And
See,
so I've got my headbuds in, I've got my hood down, and I'm like crying behind my hood. I'm like, thank God no one can see me. A bunch of hard dudes, you know, welding
yeah.
around me. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. You pull your thing up and pull your earphones out. You're crying like,
yeah,
what's
no, it's
wrong,
just
man?
sweat, guys. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sweat.
Got sweat in my eye. Not a big deal.
It happens a lot. I get overwhelmed by Phish music quite a bit these days. I mean, it just hits the right spot, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing that none of us can explain to people
Yeah,
that don't get it.
exactly.
Um, and then we just get
Yeah,
lumped into, oh yeah,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I've had so many spiritual moments at Phish shows, you know.
And it
Just
sounds goofy to
it
outside
does. It
people,
sounds
but
goofy. I know.
it really, it's like, you can compare it to, you mentioned that, you grew up in, like with a church family.
Right.
My mom, was also in church and taking me to church, and
Yeah.
it's it's like a church experience.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
It
Phish
really
is kind of
is.
like church these days for me. Yeah, for
It
sure.
really is. Yeah. I don't get to go as much as I'd like, but
Man, I know. Same with with church. You know, it's like
yeah.
go on Mother's Day.
Yeah. Go on the big holidays.
Hmm.
Um, what do you have a song? Do you have a white whale? Do you have a song that you're chasing? A song that you've
Mm.
wanted to see in your 61 shows that you just can't seem to get them to play it whenever you're in attendance?
Oh man, I've seen a lot of pretty. I feel like I haven't seen enough brothers. I'd love to see more brothers.
That's me and my buddy. We've never gotten one, and we
Really?
both share that. It's
Yeah.
brother,
I
and
love that song
it's
so
funny you
much.
said that. It's so good.
It's so good. There's a
Yeah.
version from like March 20th, '92, maybe Binghamton, New York.
Uh-huh.
Incredible. You should check it out.
Okay.
Shreds. I mean, it's like high energy, intense.
Yeah, those 92, 93 years, like I love it because they've all still got something to prove.
Yeah,
Mostly Trey.
yeah.
It's like, and you can just, he's playing like it's the last
Oh,
time he's ever gonna
yes.
pick that guitar up, and it's like, yes, dude.
Killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a brother for sure. What else? I don't know. Funny enough, I've caught quite a few fluff heads, you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
I guess they play it pretty frequently these days, but
yeah. I would say that's in normal rotation
yeah, it is.
ish. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Nothing
don't.
that jumps out at you, huh,
Nothing jumps out. How about you,
brother? Yeah,
brother?
yeah. If I got a brother, I would freak out.
Definitely.
And
Yeah,
now that I'm saying this, they play tomorrow. They're gonna play
they're
brother, and
gonna
then
play
they're gonna
brother.
play it the show right before Dick's.
Yeah,
They're not. Yeah,
yeah.
it's I'm never gonna get it.
The few times I've seen it, I've been lucky because they've. Yeah, I guess it was like what Father's Day. Have you seen those ones where they put the bathtub out and all the kids
That,
come and sit in the bathtub?
yep.
I've caught a couple of those actually.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
maybe
cool.
they've only done it twice. And I've seen both of them. I think. I think one
Wow.
was maybe in Atlantic City, Bader Field, maybe,
Don't know.
and then yeah, and then one other one somewhere. But I haven't caught like just a sick brother. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it's
usually fairly standard, but.
Yeah, I would love to hear one of
And
those.
like Buried Alive. I think Buried Alive is one of my favorites too.
Oh, yeah, and it's one of those
Short
that yeah, so short and
but sweet.
so rocking, but so simple.
Yeah.
Because I call myself a guitar player. I used to be a guitar player. I've still got all my guitars and all my gear. I just haven't played
There
it
you go.
anytime soon. But I remember I was like, one time I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play Buried Alive. That's
Oh
like a
man.
ripping song, and it's like fucking 3 notes. It's like,
Really? Yeah.
and I was like, that's so easy and so cool. And I just like played those 3 notes like all the
Yeah.
time. Um,
It's just being able to hit it at that speed though,
yeah, and actually like make it sound
Feeling
good
it,
instead
yeah.
of just hitting 3 notes, which is what it sounded like whenever I played it. Um, so this is my favorite part because everyone's story is different. Everyone's had different crazy experiences.
Yeah.
Out of all the times you've seen Phish, or it could be at a show, it could be on the lot, it could be on the way. What are some of your favorite standout memories from tour that
I've
you're
got a
okay with
couple of
sharing?
these.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like natural or like weather events seem to follow me around.
I've been to a
Oh
few of those as
nine,
well.
yeah, oh nine Deer Creek during the flood fed. There, I think it's on YouTube. There was just an insane lightning strike.
Oh,
Just, I mean, it was one of those that's just like fingers coming out at you over
yeah.
the crowd.
Did they
That
call it?
happened. Say it again.
Did they call the show after that happened, or did it just keep going?
No, I think they called the show in the middle because it was raining a lot, and then we all came
Mhm.
back,
Yeah, one of
and
those.
that's when it happened. I think Fluffhead might have been in the encore. And then 2014, Birmingham, they were playing Simple, singing about skyballs and a shooting star right over the stage. No
And everybody
joke.
saw it?
Yeah, we were at the very top, and so perfect view, skyballs, shooting star. It was perfect.
Dude, those moments.
Atlanta one year, right before the show, basically a tornado came, knocked a bunch of trees over. Everyone's jumping in their cars, trying to get away from it.
Oh my god.
That happened. I think the same show, the pavilion flooded. It was just a big downpour. And that was when they had to stop during Mound.
Gotcha.
And then they came back and finished Mound. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lightning, shooting stars, tornadoes,
All the weather things.
all the weather things.
Yeah.
I don't know what else has happened. The lore of Antelope Gregg. You know about Antelope Gregg?
Dude, it's so funny. I can't believe that you just said this because this week I went down an Antelope Gregg rabbit hole because
I've done that. Yeah.
I was on the fence and I can't find the dude's name. So I was like on the fence. I was like, if I can get Antelope Gregg
Dude, you got to.
on this podcast,
Oh,
I was like,
you have to.
it's going to explode because everyone, if you get online, all you see are other people's opinions
Yeah,
about Antelope
I
Gregg.
know. Right.
He's this villain, right?
He is.
And then I was like, I want to just give him a platform for an hour.
Oh,
It
man.
might be the biggest mistake I ever make in my life. Like the
Hey.
subscribers go to zero.
Yeah.
But
No
I
way.
went down a rabbit hole. So yeah, I'm sorry to tangent. So yeah,
No,
what
go
were you
for
going
it.
to say
Yeah.
about Antelope Gregg?
Yeah. Same thing. Went down a rabbit hole of Antelope Gregg. I was at an Orange Beach show. I think it was 2014 or 15. And we thought we saw him. I think I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
He was there, and we were kind of, spying on him because he's legend. He's probably seen. You think he's probably seen the most shows of any Phish fan, apparently.
He's been
Other than Crota.
Yeah, he's been to, from everything that I saw in my rabbit hole, from like around 94, he has been to every show up until around 2016. That's when people say he kind of
Fell off.
sped off. But dude,
Yeah.
he's been in multiple altercations. Like there's
Well, we saw him, and we were walking somewhere, and he was kind of walking around us, and I was trying to like secretly video him, which was pretty shady. I should have done it. And I think he saw me, and on the video, he says like, "Are you videoing me?"
it's like, what's your name?
No.
It's Greg. Dude, yeah, but
Anyway.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like on one side, where there's smoke, there's usually a fire, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think that the whole community is just making up all these stories about the guy.
Maybe it's
But
legendary.
on the other hand, it kind of feels unfair because I've never met him. I'm not a rail rider, so the only time I would ever meet him would be like in the lot or passing before the show. But it just feels kind of unfair that we hear everyone else's story.
I agree, man. You got to get him on. You got to. I'll do my best. If I can find him, I'm sending him your way.
Guys, if we can find Antelope Gregg,
Antelope Gregg,
we'll put up like a wanted poster.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Surely someone can make a fun Antelope Gregg poster.
Yeah. He probably won't want to come on here because I don't even that's just it's one of those things where I talk myself out of it because like what's my approach with that? Hey, so why does everyone hate you? Like I want to treat him, like the same way that I would treat any other person that's on the podcast, but it's like how do you ignore that? It's like you've been on the internet and just like Googled Phish, Antelope Gregg, like any opinions? Like
it's just all bad stuff.
Yeah.
He needs his space. Antelope Gregg needs his space, apparently.
Yeah. And on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, it's like it's called general admission for a reason.
Right. Yeah. How many tickets did you buy? One? You get one space.
Yeah. Show me 8 tickets and I'll give you 8 spaces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy these days. Like people holding all that space down. I don't get it.
Yeah. And it's one of those things like you don't got to put a tarp down. Like we're all pretty nice. Like if someone's like kind of in your space, if you just like turn around and say like, hey, do you have any like room to back up a little bit? I kind of like I can smell your breath or so whatever, like nobody's going to be like, oh, fuck you. Or they might be, I don't know. But
who knows?
I tend to move around a lot. If I'm in a space and then it gets crowded, I'm like, well, this place is dead.
Right.
I can find another spot.
I'm pretty tall too. So I tend to like just kind of hang in the back anyway.
I hang in the back
someone's
too.
way,
How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4", gotcha. So I'm 6 foot, like on the dot. So I'm I can still like blend in.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, even there's been those times where like a guy that's like 6'6", like be working his way up front, and no matter like how far up they go, because I tend to hang out in the back too.
Yeah.
It's like if they're still in front of you at up to like a certain yardage, like you still can't see because of their fucking head. I'm like, God damn, man. You could stand at the very, very back and still see.
Seriously.
But yeah, it's all in fun. So yeah, if you or someone you know knows Antelope Gregg,
I'll do my best.
My way.
I'll do my best, Clay.
Okay, enough about Antelope Gregg. Any other stories or memories from tour that you want to share before we wrap up here? Have you seen any shows this tour? Do you plan on seeing any shows?
Not this tour, unfortunately.
Gotcha.
Being in Arkansas, I'm just far enough.
Yeah.
Really
closest would be Dick's, right? Or
I'm not. I'm not even gonna make it to Dick's. I don't think.
Yeah.
This year's a bust for me.
It's all right.
It's a bummer. Money's tight,
Hey, we are. I think I saw today. Like we are officially in a recession.
All right, finally.
I think. I don't want to. Don't quote me on that because I don't know where the headline came from. Yeah, good for us. We did it, guys.
Definitely. So there's that. They're doing that competition or that raffle. Donate to Waterwheel, and you can win tickets to Dick's. That experience. Yeah. Maybe I'll win.
Yeah, and I think because I got that same email today, and I clicked on it and everything, and I think for $10 you get like 100 entries. Obviously, you get more entries with the more you donate. But yeah, I mean. Speaking of the recession, if you've got an extra $10 to throw at it,
right?
Knowing either way it's going to a good cause, and you might luck out and get the whole VIP package. Why not?
I would love to know how some of these people make it to so many shows. They should put on a class. They need a master class of how to go on Phish tour.
Yeah, because you see this happen, and I have the same thought. I'm like,
I know.
Like, what do you do for a living? Like, can I? Are you guys hiring? What?
Seriously, I'll do whatever it takes. I just want to see more Phish shows.
Yeah, it's like that.
What's the secret?
Yeah, that scene in Wolf of Wall Street. Have you seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where Jonah Hill's character is talking to Leonardo DiCaprio's character in the cafe, and he's like, no, really, what do you make? And he's like, you show me a pay stub for whatever it was, $70,000 a month. He's like, I'll quit my job right now and work
Right
for you.
now.
And he
Yeah.
shows him and he's like, hey, yeah, Larry, fuck you, I quit, or whatever he says. Yeah, if you've got a very lucrative job, by the way, and you're listening to this and you can do Phish Tour and you want to share those secrets with us,
I know. Such
let
a
us know.
kind crowd, just share. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, we just want to introduce me to somebody. Send me an application.
Anybody, yeah. I'll work remotely. What do you want me to do?
The answers we get, they're like, I buy scratch offs every day and I just happen to
Right.
get lucky. I'm like, okay, let's
I
start buying
know.
scratch offs.
Yeah. Or maybe the Trustafarian still exists.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I mean, taking it back to Antelope Gregg, that was one of the theories about him, is that he was one of the
Trustafarian.
Trustafarian. Yeah, and kind
I
of
also heard he might have like his own like weed business.
he very well could.
And that's obviously pretty lucrative these days. And
Yeah.
you don't need to be in an office.
No. And speaking of that, I've got a. I see you've got a lot of plants, around your
Yeah.
spot there. I am not a green thumb because I just
No.
tried to this summer for the very first time grow a tomato plant outdoor,
Right.
and
How'd
it's
it go?
officially dead. It's dead. I tried to
Where
figure out the feeding
where do you live these
schedule, and
days?
I'm in Michigan,
Okay.
so growing tomatoes is legal here.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't have the green thumb. Got it in the sun.
Yeah,
I
it's
give it
tough.
water, give it food. I don't know
You
what to do.
tried indoor tomatoes or outdoor tomatoes?
Uh, indoor or no, I have not tried indoor. Tried outdoor because it was one of those things where I came across it and it was like I was going to get a clone for like $15, and I was like,
Yeah.
for $15, I'll try a new hobby. Like I'm
Yeah.
not. It's tomatoes are so cheap nowadays. I'm not
They
trying
are.
to do it for fiscal reasons or anything like that,
Yeah.
but just to see if I could do it, and it turns out I cannot.
Bummer. Keep
I
trying,
know.
hey man. Don't give
Yeah,
up.
I'm not gonna give up. I'll see if I can get another one for $15 and just bury this
So
one
tomatoes are legal
in Michigan. Yeah,
medically and recreationally?
recreational and yeah, across the board, fully legal.
Incredible. It's just medical here in Arkansas, but
God,
you
is
know,
it in Arkansas? I didn't know it
I
was
know
any in
it's kind of
Arkansas.
surprising, honestly.
Wow, I didn't know
And
that. It's medical in Oklahoma too, and when that happened, that blew my mind. I was
yeah.
like, wow. It's just
What
a
part
matter
of
of time.
what part of Oklahoma are you from?
So Oklahoma City is kind of like in the middle of the state.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I grew up about an hour south of there in a very small town called Pauls Valley.
Gotcha.
Graduated with like 90 people,
Yeah.
like small town Oklahoma. But kind of bounced around all over the state. Lived in Norman for a while. That's where the University of Oklahoma's
Right.
at.
Mm-hmm.
Lived in Oklahoma City, Edmond, places like that.
Cool.
But yeah, now I'm in Michigan,
Yeah.
in like this part.
Right on. I hear
Bay
Michigan's
region.
beautiful.
Yeah, especially up north.
Yeah.
There's a lot of so beautiful. Yeah.
We've had a drought lately, so everything's dead here in Arkansas.
Yeah. I mean, it's we've actually I don't know if we're like in a drought, but it hasn't rained. Yesterday was the first time that it's rained kind of in a while. It's sporadic, but we haven't had to mow the yard in like
For sure.
4 weeks. So I'm gonna have to mow this weekend, but it's all good.
Nice.
All right, man. And
So you're
see,
going
these
to
are
Dick's? You're going to Dick's?
yeah, going to Dick's. So they're playing at before Dick's. They're playing at Pine Knob next week. It's on a Wednesday.
Going there.
Hitting that because that's like an hour away.
Sweet.
Just the one show, which is like because they're doing Blossom, I believe Blossom right before that or right after that.
Yeah.
And I want to hit that, but like we were talking about, like money. Like I just
Yeah.
bought Dick's tickets, hotel. Like I haven't paid for the hotel yet. But I'm gonna get them whenever we get there. But like the flights, it's just like, God, dude,
it just adds up quick.
Yeah, so quick. So
you're in radio though, right?
Yeah.
Is radio lucrative or no?
It is not. It is not. It's if you have like with work, you have the fun meter and the lucrative meter.
Right.
You try to line those up.
Yeah.
On the fun meter, like, super fun job. Love it. Lucrative meter, not kind of on the opposite side, but
I hear you.
enough to make enough to not worry about what you're gonna eat today or things like that.
I know.
Keep the lights on.
I can afford the live Phish app.
Yeah. That's funny you say that because I've actually got someone's live Phish app and they don't even know that I have it.
Good for you, man. A lot of my friends are probably taking mine too, honestly. Quinn, Jeff, I know you're out there.
He's calling you out. But yeah, I've got the live Phish app and he listens to this podcast too. So who are you? Do you know? How did I get it? Will you find out?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll all make it through.
We'll
This
make it through.
recession
Yeah.
won't last forever. And
hopefully Phish will just keep on playing and
they will.
We'll see them. We'll keep on seeing them.
Yeah. Keep on keeping on, man.
Philip,
it's been a pleasure, man. That's how I know that these podcasts, I can tell whenever I have a good episode, whenever the conversation just like keeps flowing. I'm like, how did we get to talking about growing tomatoes or like where we're from? Because it's just a good conversation. And that's exactly what this has been. I've enjoyed getting to know you,
man.
Yeah, it's always fun. Like I said when we started, just two bald-headed dudes talking
Two
fish.
bald-headed dudes, yeah, man. If you ever need a co-host, man, hit me up, man. I can talk about fish all day long.
All day. But yeah, thank you for taking the time. Thank you for living in Arkansas and being such a great guest. And I won't see you on this tour, but hopefully next tour. See you on lot, catch a show together.
Definitely, man.
Share grilled cheese and do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing.
Let
Thanks
you
for
enjoy
having me on, man.
Yeah, you bet.